Breaking news about Missouri Governor Greitens' resignation. 1 hour ago, the computer tampering charge against Governor Greitens was dismissed. Governor Greitens announced yesterday that he will resign from office effective this Friday. The St. Louis Circuit Court Attorney Kim Gardner said that her decision to dismiss the computer tampering charge was not about a lack of evidence. She said her decision is what is best for the state. She also denied accusations from the governor that her investigation was anything but her searching for the truth.
Contrary to Mr. Greitens' past statements, there was no witch hunt. No plans to bring pain to him or his family. Quite the contrary. The consequences Mr. Greitens has suffered, he brought upon himself by his actions, his statements, his decisions, his ambition, and pursuit for power. Many of Mr. Greitens' former colleagues and friends cooperated with our prosecution, not because they were threatened or harassed.
41 Action News reporter Tom Dempsey is live in St. Louis. Tom.
Well, Cynthia, again, another eventful day regarding Governor Greitens. Just a few minutes ago, we spoke to Jim Martin, one of the attorneys on his legal team, who, was discussing this agreement that was made between the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office and the governor's legal team. Martin telling us he believes evidence would have showed and the case would have played out showing that Governor Greitens was innocent of this computer tampering charge. But the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office calling this, agreement that was best for the state of Missouri. Perhaps the biggest takeaway of this whole, gathering here at the courthouse in downtown St. Louis came after that press conference was held with St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner. We spoke to the public information officer for the Circuit Attorney's Office, who told us it was actually Greitens' legal team that came up with this agreement, offering the governor's resignation in response to the charge being dismissed. Again, this is all in regards to the computer tampering charge that Governor Greitens was facing. Allegations that he used a charity donor list from the charity he founded called The Mission Continues, and then used that list for political purposes. Again, his legal team coming up with this agreement. We're not calling this a plea agreement. That's according to the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office. This is not a plea agreement, simply an agreement they're calling it, a quote agreement with all of it. So again, some interesting details too we're learning about this investigation. The St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office saying they interviewed over 10 witnesses for this case, and they believe they had enough evidence to eventually charge Governor Greitens with computer tampering. But again, as I said minutes ago, we spoke to Jim Martin, an attorney for Governor Greitens, for his thoughts on this agreement. Take a listen.
Oh, well, we're very happy with, to continue to resolve as many issues as we can for the governor. This was not what drove the governor's decision, but it's one part that we had to address.
I also asked Martin, whose idea was this? Was it the legal team or Governor Greitens himself who came up with this agreement? He declined to comment on that. Also important to note that this agreement, the formalities of this agreement, the St. Louis Circuit Attorney saying that other components were a part of this agreement, but they will remain secret, and much of this agreement will remain sealed in the courthouse across the street from where I'm standing. So we do know that the legal team for Governor Greitens and the St. Louis Circuit Attorney are expected to come back again or together to formally sign that agreement at the courthouse sometime this afternoon. So again, another eventful day regarding Governor Greitens and his resignation announcement just yesterday. Live in St. Louis, I'm Tom Dempsey, 41 Action News.